Hello and welcome to Racers Now. The flat season is well and truly in full swing. So we are very busy here on Racers Now. Just a bit of an update, news coming a little bit later. But firstly, the big event of this week is the Lockinge Stakes, the Group 1 over a mile at Newbury on Saturday the 18th. And 11 runners have been declared at the 5-day stage. 11 in there at the moment. Insprial and Big Rock are still in, but might not be come 3:35 on Saturday. That is because connections of Insprial have said that she won't run if the ground is soft. Whether you believe that or not, I am not sure. It is currently good to soft. Would she run on good to soft? Probably, in my opinion. But there is an uncertain forecast, to say the very least, in the days between now and the big day on Saturday. And even if she does run, it is her first run of what could be a long season for her, etc., etc. Connections have already said that. So either way, as I said weeks ago on the channel, when we was first looking forward to the Lockinge, she's an unreliable betting proposition first time up. She'll either run and provide value amongst the other runners in the day of race market, or not run, and suddenly we are on a good bet with High Royal anti-post at 66 to 1, as I put up a few weeks ago. Big Rock, the French contender, is still in, and we'll love any sort of soft in the going description. But to describe his preparation for this race as interrupted would be an understatement, given that he changed yard. Only a matter of days since we put up our first video, actually, on the Lockinge. He's been transferred from Christopher Head to Maurizio Ganeri. Not ideal 3 weeks before a Group 1 on foreign soil, to say the very least. And Mr. Ganeri certainly wasn't a household name in racing circles at the turn of 2024. He's been transferred quite a few horses, some very good ones. A couple of Group 1 winners in Blue Rose Sen and Big Rock, amongst others, have been transferred to him. God knows what the owner is thinking. My argument for High Royal for the Lockinge remains the same, really. Away from the big two, I think he's got as good a chance as any of being the best of the rest. And if one or two of the big two either don't turn up or underperform on seasonal debut, both of which are pretty likely, given the reasons above, High Royal could nick some place money at the very least, and that's what I'm hoping for. Should High Royal be winning Group 1s in the UK? Probably not, but you take every race as an individual, and I like the makeup of the race from a betting angle. The chief support at Newbury on Saturday is the London Gold Cup for 3-year-olds, which is almost always a very good race and throws up a pretty good horse. The Cheltenham training team, Harry or Roger or a combination of both, have a fantastic record in the London Gold Cup. They've got 3 winners from their last 4 runners in the London Gold Cup itself. This year they rely on King's Gambit, who has been well found in the market. He's around 7-2, second favourite, with champion jockey William Buick likely to be doing the steering. As usual, for all races at Newbury on Saturday, final decks will be on Thursday. Into some racing news. Last year's Derby second and Champion Stakes winner, King of Steel, was injured on Tuesday morning in a routine galloping exercise and will miss Royal Ascot. That is a big blow for Ammo Racing, clearly the leading horse amongst the purple and white ranks, and Roger Varian as well, who trains. He'll hopefully return at the back end of the season, but he is going to miss races like the Brigadier Gerard, which was going to be his starting point at Sandown. He's then going to miss the likes of the Coronation Cup, the Eclipse, Royal Ascot as well. He had all sorts of options. Not that he would have ran in all of those races, but certainly some of them. Will he be back by the back end of July for the King George at Ascot? I would say that's probably unlikely. I think they'll want to start over 10 furlongs with him for his first start. So it'll be interesting to where he turns up. Maybe the Juddmonte Stakes at York, or maybe the 10 furlong Irish Champion Stakes in September over in Ireland. We're wishing King of Steel a speedy recovery. Over in Ireland, Aidan O'Brien hosted a press morning on Monday where he continues to find new ways to describe and hype horses. Obviously, the talking point was that horse City of Troy, and this time he was saying that they've never sent a horse with as much ability as City of Troy to Epsom. This is coming from a man that I think has won the Guineas 9 times, so it's very high praise indeed. As I said last week on the video, I think it is mad that City of Troy is now as short as 3-1 favourite for the Derby. Not only did I think that he wasn't a Derby horse months ago, you can go back and check, but he has since ran very badly in the Guineas. With, as far as I could see, very few excuses for that bad performance, although they have tried describing or excusing it with things to do with the stalls. Absolutely nothing to see there, in my opinion. City of Troy was poor in the Guineas and he's 3-1 favourite for the Derby. It's pretty much a head scratcher, but I suppose that just shows the power of the Ballydoyle maestro, the Ballydoyle team, and the confidence that punters have in Aidan O'Brien and his thinking towards which he considers his chief derby hope. Look at what happened last year with August Rodin. He, for very different reasons, bombed out in the Guineas, but then was well supported and well backed to win the Derby, and he duly did so in impressive fashion. Just on the Derby, we've got trials this week. The final trial, if you like, is at York on Thursday in the Dante. We're going to have an update next week on the Oaks and Derby anti-post market. Not really much through itself in the contention over at Chester last week, in my opinion. Ambiente Friendly at Lingfield was very, very impressive, and a horse not trained by someone called O'Brien or Appleby. So a definite interesting runner into the mix. We'll cover those next week. We ought to mention the French Guineas whilst we're at it. Both the fillies and colts versions took place at Longchamp on Sunday. Lead Irish Hope, and again trained by Aidan O'Brien, Henry Longfellow went off favourite for the colts race and lost his unbeaten record in the process. Just tactically, he could never get in the race, to be honest. Ryan was caught on the inside. There was plenty of runners. There's two bends over that mile at Longchamp, the Foal Straight, and you could see Ryan looking round. He just couldn't get out for a run. Would he have won anyway? Probably not. He finished quite a long way back, let's be honest about it. Diego Velasquez was actually the best performing O'Brien runner in that race, and he looks a contender for the French Derby. So Henry Longfellow's lost his unbeaten record. He's still a very good horse, you would have thought, and he will hopefully go to Royal Ascot with the St. James's Palace Stakes on the Tuesday. Could be absolutely fantastic. If you imagine notable speech, the 2,000 Guineas winner in impressive fashion, the second Rosalian, then Henry Longfellow, plus a couple of other contenders as well. Could be a very, very good race. Hopefully they all make it there. The French 1,000 Guineas 1, 2, 3 was 31 to 1, 45 to 1, and 17 to 1. The French 2,000 Guineas was 24 to 1, 26 to 1, and 20 to 1. What more do you need me to say about the French Classics, really? Although we should shout out at this time Dancing Gemini, who was second in the males race for Roger Teal, and Kathmandu, who was second in the fillies race for Brian Meehan. They filled runner-up spots, both ran with big credit. Hopefully he might come over and cause some trouble or some win trouble in some of the group ones over here as well. So fair play to them for what you would consider not exactly trainers from the top table like O'Brien and Appleby. And remember, it is the Dante at York the Dante meeting at York this week, as I mentioned earlier, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Big fields galore, plenty of Epsom clues with the Oaks trial and the Derby trial, as I mentioned. And we'll be back next week to look at the Derby and the Oaks anti-post markets in more depth. But before that, and as usual, SD and myself will be back Thursday night looking ahead to the weekend's racing, chiefly from Newbury, Newmarket as well. And can we just say, what if you're still here, SD is on fire. He's on absolute fire, really is. 12 to 1 winner and 5 to 2 winners last week. He's one of the Victoria Cup winner, Wizard of Eye, absolutely flying. He's well in front of me now, although I'm showing a healthy profit. SD is plus 51 points. And remember, we're back in 1 point win or 1 point each way throughout the season. We're making selections on a Thursday with volatile markets before the weather kicks in, etc., etc. Real credit to SD there. And like I say, we'll be back Thursday with plenty of selections as usual and hopefully a couple more winners here on Races Now.